Utility Commission meeting for Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. A quorum is here, and the agenda was properly posted. Okay, thank you. Public appearances, do we have anyone that would like to speak during the public portion? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead with discuss and consider the minutes of the Utility Commission meeting of January 8th, 2025. Could we get a motion for that, please? Motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve. Minutes as presented.
And I'll second it. Any other discussion on that? So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone abstaining? And no one voting no. Okay, that passes. Number 5, discuss and consider approval of the vouchers. I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers as presented. Can I have a second, please? Second. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And no one abstaining. Number 6, unfinished business. Discuss and consider the water tower drawings for the Verizon on Tower 2.
So as we discussed at the last couple meetings, the lease has passed. It has been approved by this commission. So the next thing that we were reviewing were the drawings that were provided by Verizon. They were included in the packet as well as a memo that I put together, just on a very few comments that I had in regarding to their infrastructure that they're looking to put on the water tower. The biggest comment that I did have that would be potentially of major interest to the commission would be they originally had the cabling on the west side of the water tower, which could be visible to those driving up and down County Highway N across the interstate. So I've requested that the cabling be put on the other side of the tower where it's a little less visible because of all the tree lines and it's not that prominent aspect. If there are any questions or anything on those drawings, happy to answer them.
Anyone? Okay, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Discuss and consider the approval of the offer to purchase, approval of the lands for the future.
A is discussing.
Approvals of the.
Approval of the drawings.
Oh, we have to have a motion for that?
Yeah, just a motion that you guys approve the
Okay.
drawings with my recommendations.
Okay, my apologies. So we can have a motion to approve the drawings for the Water Tower 2 project.
So moved.
A second?
So second.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And no one abstaining. Okay, thank you. B then, discuss and consider the approval of the offer to purchase approval for the lands at the future Ridge Lift Station.
So you guys approved the initial offer at the January committee meeting. It had not been signed by all parties. The agreement and the lease has not changed since you guys last looked at it. It is just the official offer to purchase with all parties being signed, which would then have the village move forward with our due diligence, doing a phase 1 environmental assessment and finalizing that purchase.
Okay, and do we need a motion for that also?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the offer to purchase of the lands for the future Ridge Lift Station. May I have a second, please? I'll second. Okay, second. Any other discussion on that? All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And no abstaining. Okay, thank you. And then we'll move to C, discuss and consider the hydrant at Fireman's Park. I'll get the ball going here. I talked to the parks people, because I live right next door, and and the fire hydrant that is right next to the building that stores approximately $200,000 worth of equipment and trucks is not functioning. They shut it off every fall because the link after the fire hydrant going to the concession stand is in very poor shape, and they're afraid if it's on, it will freeze and burst, and then they have to replace it. So they've shut it off for a number of years now. What I would like to consider, and I talked to Kyla, is getting a water stop put after the hydrant so that it's not feeding the bad pipe, and yet the fire hydrant is functionable should there be a need at the storage shed. And I'll let her go deeper on that one.
You hit the high points there, Charlie. So the fire hydrant in question here is the one that sits next to the Parks and Rec shed. It is served off of the line off of Bass Street, and so there is a fire hydrant valve that turns the fire hydrant off, but this 1-inch line that feeds the concession stand does not have a service valve on it. So to turn that service off, we have to turn the fire hydrant valve off. This only occurs in the winter. This 1-inch line at some points is exposed. From what I've been told, it's buried about 2 feet deep. So it's an older line. We just go ahead and just turn the entire fire hydrant off to protect that line and to avoid any problems down the line. So if you guys are interested, I can have a recommendation from this committee to look at pricing of what that potentially could be.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, and just to give us perspective,
Yep.
would you be able to find us how much it would cost to replace the line as well, just so we know the price difference there?
Yep, I can definitely look into that. So one thing I was kind of throwing around in my head, that line kind of does go under asphalt. So that is something that we'd have to take into consideration, that the asphalt would have to be replaced. And now whether if we're already through winter, it could be a later project and somehow we can coordinate it for 2026 with Parks, as it has been off for many years, to replace the asphalt. If we can maybe find a contractor that's able to pull the line so we don't have to pick up. So there's a way with some services that you're able to pull the existing line and pull a new line through it, kind of like plumbers would do. So I can look into potentially what those costs look like instead of just putting a curb stop and bring it back to this committee.
So, and I also have talked to Sean before I got this ball going. The asphalt in that park is just trash. So he needs to replace it, and I told him when he replaces it, he should fix the line. I don't want us spending a ton of money to do something for the Parks Department. They have their own budget. I just want to get a curb stop, so if there's a problem at that building, we can put the fire out without having to go up half a block away to get a hydrant. That's my only concern here. I don't want to make this a very expensive thing for us. So, and Sean's aware of my opinion, okay?
Absolutely.
So that's all I got. So I just would like to have 2 parts to this, if you look into it. Okay?
I'll look into it and bring it back for the March meeting.
Okay, appreciate it. And then we'll do to D, update on the sanitary survey report.
I will stop sharing my screen now, so y'all don't have to see the agenda twice. The sanitary report is completed, sanitary survey report is completed every 3 years by the DNR, our DNR rep. The letter that we received back from the DNR is included in the packet. The 2 things to note of significance are, one is our materials inventory that was submitted in October. How we reported our service line inventory was not exactly how the DNR would like it to, so I'm working on updating that reporting to make sure it matches what they're looking for. We still have no lead. We have met that expectations. It's just the reporting aspect was not what they were looking for. The other thing to note that was marked in that survey report was our emergency response plan, and that was on my list of already things to update here in Q1 or Q2 of 2025, as all of the emergency response plans for our water utility all list people that are no longer employed by the village. So to revamp that, to make sure the contacts are up to date, is on a list of my priorities as well. So those are the 2 big things in that report. Everything else operational wise met their expectations. There were a couple things they noted with well too, but those are being taken care of during the redesign and reconstruction of that well. If there are any questions on that, happy to take that.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move forward. Down to E, discuss lighting of the water tower. I'm bringing this up because in 2018, when we lit the one side that faces the Milwaukee interchange as they're coming in from Milwaukee, we wanted to see if it was a good idea and if it had positive results. And I think from what I've heard over the last 5+ years, it's been a positive improvement to the village. So now I would like to discuss and consider people's ideas about lighting the other side also, so it's visible from the Madison side as they come out. In 2018, it cost $3,800 to do it. Of course, it'll probably be double that now. I have not reached out at all to get an estimate, but I just wanted to get the feel of the committee and whether or not there would be other sources other than just the fire or the water tower maintenance fund. So I'll open it up to any comments.
I like that idea. I'd be interested to see how much it cost and how we'd pay for it.
I as well support it, 100%.
I support it as well. If memory serves, wasn't there a discussion about the tree line being a little bit higher on that side? And
Yes.
so just maybe getting a rendition on what that would look like, just because the trees are a little more mature coming from Madison.
Yeah, the, coming from Milwaukee, you get her about 5 miles away, you get the lighting, and then you see the tower. Coming from Madison, you'll see it at approximately a mile away, and then you lose it right before you actually get to the interchange because of the trees. And again, we reached out to the landowner that was most effective, or would have been effective, and it turned out they weren't affected at all. So hopefully when we reach out again, they won't have any opposition to it. But again, we'll, one of us will reach out and try to get a price from these same folks, because they seem to be the most reasonable pricing back then, and hopefully they still are. So I appreciate the time discussing this. We'll move on to number 7, new business. For the water billings.
All right, so I'll take the second, and it'll be quick. I'll recommend tabling this till next meeting. The statistics that you are looking for aren't quite ready to be presented yet.
All right, so next meeting. So engineers report, please.
Sure. Development projects, West Lawn, 5th edition, still waiting on some feedback from the developer up there on their lift station. They're delayed on that, but that's okay. You know, they're gonna start that work into the next spring, summer. Quarry Ridge is actually under construction right now. They have been for the last month and a half. They've installed, it's Phase D, so it's the last phase of Quarry Ridge. They've installed their sewer, their sewer and water laterals, and they're working on storm sewer right now. It's been a little slow going. They've been digging through rock and frost, but they've been putzing along with it, so. Amazon facility, those public utilities will start up in the spring. I think, Kyla, we have one of those, right? We have the sewer and the water permitting. Did they get them both back yet?
Just the water.
They're waiting on the sewer yet,
Yep.
right? Yeah. But I don't anticipate that being a hang-up. Heyday is now in, so that's kind of why I'm here tonight. We have a public plan commission meeting on Heyday, and that development is a go. Again, they're bringing forward the precise implementation plan to Plan Commission. It's the site just north of where Shady Grove is. The big things for the utility side is we want to make sure that we have kind of a loop through with 12-inch water that connects to where Shady Grove is and then feeds to the west in the future. They're providing that, and then also sewer that runs, 12-inch sewer that runs along the south side and the west side of their property to feed more to the west and to the north as things develop in the future, and they're providing both of those as part of that development. So, you know, we're setting ourselves up as a village to serve other parcels in the future as the village may continue to grow. Village utility projects, the SCADA upgrades are still ongoing. You know, it's kind of hit or miss, right, Kyla? We have a plan for them. They still think they should have everything wrapped up by the end of August. You can see in the report, there's maybe a few different things that take place with flow meters, automatic transfer switches, antenna modifications over the next couple months. That will just kind of be ongoing throughout the spring and into the summer. Well, 2, there's a preliminary floor plan and elevations were presented to kind of staff, and had some discussions on those. We're putting together a preliminary engineering report for that will show some of these layouts for well number 2. And that will be brought to the Utility Commission and the village to consider and evaluate as part of upcoming meetings for the Utility Commission to discuss. The one thing that I left off on here was the Ridge Lift Station. You know, it's kind of been put on a pause at this point. We've taken it to 90+%. The site plan wasn't approved at Plan Commission, or it was approved at Plan Commission, but not Village Board. We're waiting on the developer, Lakewood. There's still conversations going on with the developer. They just have not brought forward a plan to Plan Commission yet at this point. Any questions on any of those projects?
No, appreciate.
Mhm.
So, number 9 is Director's Report.
Our staff, excuse me, dewatered that force main air release valve that we had previously discussed about. There was nothing remote that we could truly find for the water infiltration. What we think is the top has some hole, it's a metal top that's got pick holes that we think over time water gets in through that manhole. In all of our recollections, we don't know if it's ever been actually dewatered in the 8+ years it's been installed. So something that we're now going to have on our annual maintenance just to make sure that we're checking it out. Additionally, MMSD, Madison Met Sewer District, has a new executive director, Eric Dundee. Some more information can be found on his website, on their website. Me, Matt, and Cameron will be meeting with him in April, as they wanted to set up a meeting to talk with staff. MMSD did. Also, for more transparency for our utility department, we have updated the website to include projects that are currently under design or under construction, or that are planned based on approved budgets. This gives a brief overview of the projects to let the public know what's kind of forthcoming. And then lastly, every 3 years, we do a monitor well waiver application to look at our sampling points to see if additional samples have to be taken at our wells. We don't have any additional chemicals in the area, so we are all good to go on that application. So we are waived for any additional sampling that are needed. Any questions for me?
No, I really appreciate you updating the website.
Absolutely. And if there are any comments on it, feel free to let me know.
So, number 10, future agenda items. Just the tabled one, I guess, right now, right? Anybody else? Okay. So I'll make a motion to adjourn. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Everybody appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.